everyone, welcome to the LARP Tales podcast, the award-winning podcast where we tell our stories through live-action roleplay. My name is Oliver. I'm one half of your hosting duo. With me, as always, is my co-host Robyn. Hey, Robyn.
Hey, Oliver.
And today we're going to be covering our time at Empire E2 of 2025, the spring equinox. We're here in our new studio. That it's not a green screen.
So, no, yeah, not a green screen.
In the inn, and here's our lovely bookshelf.
Yeah, we got our library over here and the inn back there.
Library of LARP books. Before we get into our recap, though, the usual housekeeping. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you're new to the Tohab and Troll universe. Make sure that you leave us a comment, follow us on all the socials, give us 5 stars on the audio platforms as well. Go check the Patreon out. And with all that out of the way, let's get into our recap of Empire LARP E2. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling a bit rusty because it's been a while since we've recorded a podcast.
It has been a little while, actually. Normally we come back from the events and it's one of the first things we kind of get penciled in, but it's actually been a few weeks out this time. So yeah.
So see if we can remember what on earth happened.
I mean, quite a lot did actually happen. So let's hopefully we'll remember it all. You know, I'm sure you'll tell us if we forget something.
Yeah. So, good event for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good event for you?
It was a weird event for me. Like, yeah. I don't know how to describe it. It was different. A very different event.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We came off this event with very, very different energies, didn't we? So, but I think we can kind of figure out why that was. So we'll start at the beginning, Thursday.
Yeah, got there Thursday as usual, did our whole setup and everything. We weren't too silly with Dangerous Thursday, actually.
No.
We actually were. We ended up, so we normally always end up at the Forge on a Thursday. This time we kind of were like, more and more people started gathering around the camp, and it was getting later and later. We're like, okay, let's go to the Forge. Okay, let's go to the Forge. And then it got later and later, and then we're like, let's just start the fire. So we ended up having Thursday night around the actual fire, didn't we? We had lots of people there, lots of drinks, nice little, like, it was really good night, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you go to the Forge because there's lots of people there, but if you have a big enough camp and loads of people start coming to us, that was the thing. It's the thing is, when you're at these fest LARPs, it's all about whether you're going to start the fire or not.
Yeah.
Because if you start the fire, then you're going to have to stay with the fire and look after it, and then you can't then just leave it and go off drinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. So like, we ended up starting the fire, having a nice sort of chilled out night, met a few new friends and everything, which is always a lot of fun. And yeah, that was really it for our Thursday. Kind of takes us straight into our Friday, doesn't
it? Unfortunately, going forward with Empire, coming to the new site, it's a longer drive for us. So getting there on Thursday is going to be tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll see, because the difference with PD's new site is that it's their site, so they don't have to work around Silverstone's schedule. So I don't know, they might choose to do like, you know, holiday time, like school holiday times, maybe change the weekends. I can't see that happening because there's lots of other LARPs that now work around that as well.
Plus they've got their sort of method that they've used for so long now as well. I mean, but again though, with it being their like proper site and having more sort of permanent structures and things in there, that might make quite a big difference actually, just to being able to, just with ease of setup. Like if we think about it now on the Thursday, I mean, this is mainly going to affect like your crew and stuff, but on the Thursday now, you've got everybody there building the Glory Square from scratch, you know, things like that happening. But if you've already got your kind of permanent structures, maybe permanent roads and things in place, you'd have like your camping spots, who knows? I mean like at Eversley, you got like huts and things, so, and there's hardly any setup. Maybe.
Well, that's the thing. So the new site, it's not going to have any like infrastructure in it. So there's not, it's just going to be a flat piece of land. I've not even seen it yet. I've not even seen pictures of it yet.
No, I've not either, actually. I've not looked at any of them yet.
No, so I think it's going to be just, obviously I'm assuming it's farmland, so it won't be set up for lots of foot traffic and having buildings on it. There's going to be no trees.
Yeah, because they're having to plant their forest, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously just going to take. It's going to take time. You just plant saplings. You'd be surprised how quickly.
Oh yeah, no, it's quite quickly to kind of
obviously
create
that costs money. So it's not a case of just go. We'll just buy woods, just shove them in there. You kind of have to buy a load of saplings and just kind of wait. But it's also...
meanwhile, PD, we just bought a load of woods. wait, we weren't supposed to do that.
Well, I mean, if you can buy woods, but it's transporting the trees to the site. That's the difficult bit. But also it means that we're going to have big open battlefields, which will be.
I do like a big open battlefield.
Yeah, that is going to change how we do battles dramatically.
Do you think they'll put like some permanent like forts and stuff in there?
I imagine so.
Yeah.
I imagine also that there'll be enough room that we can have. So our different conjunction scenarios that we choose in military council, I can see them having enough space where they go, oh, this is that type of battle, and this is that type of battle. So they go, oh, this is a battle where it's a big open space, or there's a battle where we've got lots of these permanent palisades and things like that.
Oh yeah, because you could do a lot with like a big open space. Like thinking about a battle, you can put like trenches and stuff in there.
An actual village.
Yeah.
Especially if they wanted to like rent it out for like, I don't know what they want to do. If they want, I think the plan is to rent it out for other LARPs, right? So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, you could see them, you could see there being a need for building of structures and things like that, like so people could use it for like Nerf gun LARPs, airsoft LARP, whatever. I don't know. Is there airsoft LARP? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think that's a thing.
Is it?
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah, sounds like a thing.
Yeah, no, that's totally a thing.
Yeah, must be. I don't know. Anyway, Thursday, pretty uneventful. So this was my first event with Imperial Title.
It was.
Yeah. Do you want to just jump straight into time in, or?
Yeah, because the Friday we kind of did our normal, like we did some shopping and everything.
We say this every single podcast that we do. We're just like, oh, we did some shopping. We got drunk on Thursday. We went shopping on Friday.
Yeah. Same old.
Same old. So yeah, a weird one. I said this on our last recap where I was like, right, I'm now a general. That I didn't want to like do these like recaps of like, this is what I was thinking and this is what I want to do, and because that is obviously very interfering with my game. So I'm going to be brushing. I'll be brushing over details basically. Just say I went here. And then I did this. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, because that kind of spoils the fun anyway, doesn't it? It's quite nice being able to be a bit like, you're the general. It's your plans and everything here, and it's your sort of like. It's
kind of against the rules as well.
It's also totally against the rules. There's also that aspect of it.
Yeah. But yeah, my first event properly with an Imperial title, we did a little time in bit at our camp. So a little family like time in, House Mortaire. Pretty much instantly, as Morrigan's talking, Birch, who's our house butler.
Yeah, house butler.
Comes up goes to speak to someone at the front of our camp, and then comes to me and is like, Lord Damon, and I'm like, here we go. It begins, right? And it's like, basically was like, if you want a ritual done on your army, you need to be up at the Reggio in 15 minutes. And like the thing's only just started. So, but that set the tone for me for the entire weekend.
No, it did, yeah.
Yeah. So I shimmied off up to get my ritual done. Do you want to go over what you did first, or?
Yeah, so we had something planned as a house group. So Morrigan had a speech planned for the Glory Square, and she was planning on doing this at 6:30. So we were sort of getting geared up for this speech that she was going to give to not just Dawn, but like the Empire, like everyone who wanted to come along. She wanted to do this sort of big speech. So we started, we headed up. I think I headed up a little bit earlier because there was a load of shouting in the Glory Square, and I was like, oh, cool, let's go and see what all the shouting's about. And And yeah, it was the ex-Imperial Spy Master was out in the Glory Square shouting, and it was quite funny actually, because there was a moment we all went, is this what we're using the square for now? Are we just going to keep, having these sort of big screaming matches? I miss when there was fighting and acts of love and everything else. And we were all having this sort of discussion as the Imperial Spy Master was addressing Dawn. The Empress was there as well with a load of their guard. And this kind of went on for long enough for a lot of Dawn to be like starting to boo, starting to be like, oh, come on, what's going on? And this entire time, Morrigan is standing there in the background and she's kind of like, she's ready to go. And a lot of us know she's got a speech and we're all like, come on, when's she going to do it? Like she's going to step in at the right moment, right? And at the exact right moment, when he stepped off to the side, she steps in and she's like, oh, thank you for warming up for me. And the cheer that came through Dawn, it was just this huge cheer. She did an amazing speech, riled everyone up. It was absolutely fantastic. And it was basically just this sort of thing she wanted to do to help unify Dawn after the whole divided Dawn that we have had lately.
So what did she actually say? Not verbatim, but like what? Because I wasn't there. I missed it.
I mean, I cannot remember the entire speech. I am very sorry, Mark. But the main gist of it was, we're together. We fight best together. We should charge into battle. We look after one another. Death to the Druge. That's your gist.
Oh, Death to the Druge, yeah.
Yeah, oh, there was Death to the Druge.
We love a good little Death
Oh,
to the
we
Druge.
loved it. The speech finished and everyone started to disperse different places. We could then hear music coming and we saw the Bard Sards set up, which are a bard group, and they were in the little Glory Annex. And that's because a wedding started and they had this beautiful wedding, this amazing ceremony. It was absolutely gorgeous. And while this was happening at one side, and the other side, a load of people started fighting and sparring. And it was a sort of weird moment of, this is Dawn.
Yeah, this is what we kind of signed up for when we joined the nation, out of character, and then in character. It's like, yeah, it's a bit more thematic as well But I missed it. So what was the wedding like?
You got the end of the wedding. You arrived just at the end as the bride and groom were walking away. So I didn't hear a lot of it because I was kind of like standing in awe, being like, wow, we've got all the fighting at one side, the wedding at this side. They had a full wedding party. We had petals in the air and the petals were like, felt like they were falling constantly.
Well, I mean, it looked from a distance, it looked like a proper wedding. Yeah.
It was a proper wedding.
Yeah.
It was beautifully done. It was, oh my gosh, and everybody was dressed like really gorgeously. It was amazing. Plenty of photographers around. Yeah, so while all of that was happening and you kind of came just at the end of the wedding, what were you doing in the meantime?
So I went up to get enchantment on my army. I got this, it's a resupply enchantment called Fists of Chien. Yeah, Fists of Chien, there we go. It's basically it buffs your resupply. So when your army's just like hanging out in a territory and they're getting resupplied, so it's an autumn ritual. So
when you say like buffs it, does it like give you extra? Like what does that mean?
So it's a force strength. So every army has a force strength, which is so one force strength is a representation of one soldier.
Okay.
Basically, you know, there's other things that add force strength that isn't particularly a soldier, but for just the military council game is like a in like the under the abstraction layer, it's like a maths game that kind of represents other things. Yeah. So a resupply will increase the number that I gain back, because when I took the army on, we had just come back from Tharunin, and we got badly hammered, right? So we lost 2 armies. So the Golden Sun, my army is a large army. So not all. So most armies are at full strength, 5,000 strength. A large army is 7,500 strength. But yeah, I resupplied the last event. So yeah, I had a choice of like, I could go and campaign, but I was only just over 5,000 strength, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to get into like my thinking, my tactics, but I think the right decision was to say and resupply. That's the cool thing about the military accounts as well. It's still it's not really PvE. Yeah, you're kind of talking you are talking PvE because you're like going up against enemy armies, right, and enemy fortifications. But the PvP aspect of the game is the main part, as in, so one army basically. For anybody interested in, what the foundation of the military council is, the idea is that one army can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it can cause a ruckus, right?
It certainly can.
Yeah, it can right. So you can order your army to do anything, but if you want to achieve something on the campaign map,
Yeah,
like
you need to
like
work together,
hold a
really.
territory, take a territory. You can't do it on your own. It's like you need all armies need to work together. So that means we all have to work together, but we're all fighting on all different fronts. So, if people on the different fronts will have different plans, what they want to do. So people might want to be like, hey, do you want to bring your army up here, or where are you positioning your army? So
yeah, do you want to work together on this, and then I can help you out with this afterwards? Do we think they might want to come and help us out here? And yeah.
So it is a game within a PvP game, so I chose to resupply. And honestly, even if I wasn't thinking about resupplying, the fact that someone came up to me and went, "Oh, here's a free ritual," just so I'm like, yeah,
why not?
yeah. But anyway, so I
sorry, I was going to say, what was the ritual like?
So the ritual was amazing.
Yeah.
So it was a Coven Concordium Palace, okay. I think, or is any Coven. Really cool. So it's an autumn ritual, and what they did is they put me in the middle of the ritual. So those are people who haven't been to Empire before, or those people who haven't really gone and interacted with it. The Regio. How deep do I get into this? So the Regio. So the Regio helps you cast spells. There are Regios all around the world, different parts. You get spring Regios, day Regios. The one on Anvil is like a special Regio because it can do all of them, right? Handy.
It's really handy for us, right?
Handy. So it was an autumn ritual. They sat me in the middle of the Regio. The Regio actually has like these standing stones. I don't know if you go back and listen to our podcast we did with Autumn, like
Autumn went into
a lot
ages
ago. So Autumn does the audio Empire LARP wins, but she's also on crew and she works at the Regio. So she does all the lights and it's part of the crew that does all the lighting for it. There's also sounds.
She's a lot of setup, and I think she's one of the main people you like interact with as well. I think as well.
Yeah, exactly. So because I think she's sung when you go speak to Sung, I think. Yeah. But anyway, the ritual that they did, the person leading the ritual was basically just very straightforward, just asking me questions like, "What's your name? What is the name of your army? Where have you been fighting? Where are you now?" And as I'm just asking these like basic questions, I hear like voices in my ear. So basically, one of the other cover members is like for theatrics, but they did a very good job of it. Because the person leading it held my focus. And I just heard that, and they kind of out of character. They pre-warned me beforehand, being like, "Oh yeah, so it's
gonna get weird.
It gets a little bit weird." So I'm watching this person. They start talking about like how they're going to resupply, how the Autumn Realm is going to help resupply my army by fixing their boots. And as this is going on, I get more and more voices either side of me, and it gets harder and harder to respond to the ritual leader's questions because I can't. It's disorienting.
What were they like? They were like saying things to you. What were they saying to you?
Oh, they were saying. So obviously the idea of the ritual is to stay and resupply and defend, right? But I had people going, "Oh yeah, just charge in, go for it." It's like, don't stay, don't be idle. Where's your glory? All this but I had two people at one point in either ear. and I had one person like asking me a question who's like a foot away from me, so I could barely hear, and it was like trying to answer it. It was really cool. It was a really cool effect, you know.
Was it just like the three of them that were like doing this ritual, or did they have like a big group like around?
Oh no,
you and everything,
it's so
like a full coven
yeah.
around you?
These types of rituals are high mag rituals, so they need. You need a fair few mages to do them. They're not just a couple of us will go and just I don't even know what mag. When I say mag, by the way, that's magnitude. So that's the amount of mana that's required for the ritual. I don't even know what mag that would be, but most of the ones that do armies is big.
They're big, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, came down to to the Glory Square, and then I had to talk to a few people about a few things in Dawn, and then I shot away again because I basically came down because I wanted to be there for the Lance Captain's meeting. So I basically walked all the way down from the Reggio, which is next to Urizen, by the way, all the way down to Dawn to go, right, okay, what's happening with Lance Captains? Okay, oh no, it's not happening. We're going to do it later. Cool. And then I walked all the way back up to Urizen because I was a part of a secret meeting about what's happening on the east. So Dawn, for people who don't know, Dawn is on the east part of the. You know what we should have behind us as a map of the Empire.
A map of the Empire.
That would actually help me as much as it would help everyone else. So yeah, Dawn is on the east. So we had a few kind of general senators kind of have a chat about what's happening on that front. And yeah, can't divulge any of it. Yeah.
Basically, at a secret meeting, and there may or may not have been a map.
There was a map, actually. Yeah, no, there was a map. Yeah. What else happened Friday before muster? Nothing really.
No, not too much actually happened, I don't think. I think at this point as well, we're kind of just getting to grips with did they? No, I was going to say, they didn't elect lions on that night either, did they? They did that.
Didn't exist.
Didn't exist yet.
No,
it didn't exist yet.
No,
Sorry,
we'll
I'm like getting a bit confused there.
Since you've done a spoiler, so we have a new Dornish army. So before the event, the Winds had basically stated that the Senator of Astolat was responsible for naming the army by Saturday afternoon. I can't remember the time, but basically, so once the army has a name, then it can have a general. Then it's there.
I also need to have a what's it called again when you've got
quality? Yeah,
quality. That's it. Yeah. And we also had to figure out what quality as well it was going to have. I think it was tied between 2 or 3 at the time.
I'm not gonna get it like too into
oh,
it.
No,
it gets a little bit like a bit mechanicky.
Yeah.
So we had 3 options.
I think there was 3 options. I only remember 2, but I think it was 3.
Yeah, we had the magic. So I had the basically like from the Winds, we had a magic one, the Vanguard one, the Love one. Can't remember if there was a 4th. Can't remember. But it was pretty unanimous among like generals and that. Like we didn't get to decide, but like if anyone came up and asked us, we were like, yeah. I mean,
you all had the same kind of view and opinion, between the generals and the adjutants and everyone. Everyone was quite like,
the Love one made sense. So it's basically the opposite of what like the Hounds of Glory did, and it was a better homage to the Hounds of Glory because so Hounds of Glory was our old army that got destroyed a couple of years ago in the Barrens. So the Hounds were all about just like charging in and like sacrificially charging in, basically. Whereas this new army is about protection. So it basically like it's a shield over over you. It's just like, come on, it's like the healer, right? It's like the healer in a D&D party kind of thing. Which was nice, but that didn't get decided until.
No, it was later on. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we kind of chatted to a few people and then headed off to muster. Really, at that point, I believe.
Yeah, muster. So military council, my first proper muster. as a general. I felt so comfortable. I did. Like, I mean, I didn't make like massive waves in muster. It was a good one to kind of ease myself into, because currently, the opportunities that came out. I will say as well, there was only 2 of us because Griffin's Pride, didn't was up for election. And also there was no senator for the Barons, which means we couldn't elect a general for the Griffin's Pride, and we also couldn't elect a general for the new army because it needed its quality that we've just gone over. So there was only like me and Aurum in there. So which was good because Aurum's experience, at least I had Aurum to kind of lean on there. But yeah, the opportunities that we had to decide from. So there was Sarengrave, which we could basically basically awaken the Valorn, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Or we could basically activate these trods, right? And we had different options as well. It was a very complicated and kind of
it did look extremely complicated.
Yeah, everything was bad about it. There was
bad.
2 different miasmas. I'm pretty sure there's 2 different miasmas. We had a Druge miasma and a Valorn miasma.
Yeah, there was 2 miasmas, a Valorn button, and Druge. I mean, it just sounded really bad.
Yeah, it was like nah, and also like the people that were going to be invested in that one were going to be the Navarre. Which they sort of, like Dawn wasn't like massively invested in that one. The other 2 were Bregersland and
I can't remember Mormold. It was Mormold, yes.
Yeah. So both against the Jotun, right? So that doesn't really drag Dawn into there. So there was nothing that we were really like, right, Dawn, we want to argue for this like strongly. So it was a pretty straightforward muster for us. It was just kind of sit there and be like, cool, we'll see what's decided.
Yeah.
I personally really didn't want to go. It's done now, right? So I really didn't want to go to Sarengrave. Out of character and in character, I did not want to go to Sarengrave.
That was kind of like the feel from a lot of people were like, I don't want to go to Sarengrave.
What was interesting? Yeah, what's really interesting to me is that so I don't usually go on like the big Discord groups, but I will like pop my head in every now and again. Sometimes like the chatter around military council is really interesting beforehand, because people who don't really I'm saying people come into military council, but if they're not really kind of getting involved and staying for all the nitty-gritty conversations, a lot of people will before this event. I saw so many people saying, "Oh, I don't see why the military council wouldn't choose that one. Obviously, they're going to choose that one," and it happens a lot. And I'm just like, and then when we don't decide it, people go, "Oh, so this is one of the contentious things with Navarre this event."
Yeah.
So Navarre, I haven't been very happy with the military council recently, but it is very much a case of like, we need you to come and. Like, because anyone can come in and listen to military council, and then you'll understand why we've made. Or, I mean, you might not agree with it, but at least you'll understand why we've made. So there's a little bit of an out of character and in character crossover, because on the face of it, there was so many people going, "Oh, why wouldn't they take this?"
Yeah.
Like, I came into the event being like, "There's no way Damon is going to want to go there. Not a chance." Tactically, it didn't really make much sense, really. And also, on the day, like it was going to be just a really crap battle for what. But Navarre made the decision for us.
They really did.
Yeah, they just kind of went
pretty easy.
Yeah. I will say it was separate from the generals as well. Like the generals was just like, look, we're part of the team.
Yeah.
But our nation not into it, doesn't want to go vehemently. And obviously, Navarre aren't exactly like the Imperial Orcs, where it's just like, well, if they don't turn up to the battle, it's like 20 less people.
They're pretty hefty.
Yeah. What were they like? The third
They're
biggest force
third.
fighting?
We're biggest.
Yeah, we're the biggest. We definitely have been biggest before. Some people were saying it was the first time we've been the biggest force fighting.
We've not been the biggest.
I'm
Sorry,
sure we
we've
have.
not been the biggest. Yes, we were the biggest. The one before last, we were at 56.
Yeah.
Or I might be wrong with that number, but we were above Wintermark. No, I think we came in on the same number as Wintermark. And then it was Mercenary Banners switching around to us above.
I thought it was the other way, because I thought we came into the event as the biggest, and then once Mercenary Banners were divvied out to Wintermark, they beat us.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be on my old notes somewhere.
Yeah.
The one thing I keep is force weightings.
Somewhere. I mean, the thing is as well, like if all the nations were the same size, I think it would make a lot of parts of the game better, but also it adds an interesting ripple to Military Council, obviously, because you've got the bigger nations, you know?
Yeah.
So you can't. So this was the issue. The thing is, what we were kind of like pushing for, it was never going to happen. It was a bit of a pipe dream. We had
it was a dream.
Yeah, I mean, we had someone like arguing because our numbers were good. You know, you did pretty good with the numbers. But for me, I was like, I kind of want to fight with the marches. But basically, so what we were pushing for was. It sounds stupid even saying it.
It sounds stupid saying it now.
But I mean, so we wanted what? Wintermark, Dawn,
and Marches.
And the marches.
That's all we wanted.
And we had a
Wintermark, Dawn, Marches. And we were happy for everyone else to go together.
And then we were going to put everyone else on the other day.
And they'd have Navarre.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a pipe dream. Thing is, as well, because it had been brought up, and I agree with it, that because this is where Dawn kind of gets screwed a bit when they have their big massacres, is because we stay there and we do the job.
Yeah.
But we don't have the backup of smaller, heavier nations.
Yeah.
Because if they put us with like Navarre, so say like Navarre are just lighter than Marches and Wintermark, but they put us with Navarre, but then if they put us with like Urizen, Varushka, it becomes very difficult for them for those nations to kind of back us up, like in a grinding way.
Yeah.
You know, if you know what I mean. So it's a distribution of heavy armor. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
it's heavy armor and long pointy sticks. It's like you've got to have a good ratio of like both on each.
Hey, we hardly had any long pointy sticks this time.
No,
we got hit by a lot of long pointy sticks.
No, I mean, hang on. No, who did we have with us? I'm going to struggle to remember. Anyway.
So on the other side was the Marchers and League and someone else with pointy sticks.
But we had half the League.
We had half the League. We did. The good half.
Yeah. So rewinding a bit, so we decided not to go with Sarengrave because it was taken off the table anyway. So then we had Mornwald and Bregersland. So obviously Bregersland... it was the Bregersland one was really cool.
Yeah.
They're also out of character. I really wanted to go on that battle because it was just the funner battle.
It looked, honestly, see when we get onto the battle chat, we'll go through all this, but honestly, it was so fun. It was such a fun looking battle. So yeah.
Yeah. Should we just do we'll just talk about the actual battles when we get to them, right?
Yeah.
There's no point. So we decided. So it was both days against the Jotun. Let's see if I can remember how they did it. Wintermark, Marches, Navarre, and the League one day.
Yep. That's right.
Everyone else on the rest.
That's right.
There we go. Look at me. I'm a general.
Well
done. a lot of it does go out, especially like we're 3 weeks out now, so a lot of it does go out your head. So yeah, pretty straightforward muster really. It's very difficult as well being, I guess if you're like a new general and there wasn't really anything to kind of push either. You don't really need to make a massive splash anyway. So.
Yeah, you're just kind of there. I mean, like, I think you did really well at just kind of getting to know people in the tent. And it's just that getting into that position because, I mean, there is a lot that goes into that and everything.
I love that. I think I love that my favorite type of role play isn't really like the big speeches or the, I mean, I don't mind a speech, but like, especially on the battlefield, the speech is really cool. Or and I've done like partially planned role play as well. I do like magic, but my favorite bits of role play are the going up and talking to people like one-on-one or just two people. And it's funny, a lot of people are the opposite. A lot of people, that's too intense for a lot of people, but that's my favorite part of military council or just having the hat actually was just going up and talking to people.
Yeah.
And I will say, I am not saying I'm a great general. I've not done anything with it yet, but already I'm like, oh my God, this suits me way better than being an adjutant. I was a terrible adjutant. I was like, this is because it's two very different jobs.
Sitting there like, yeah.
It's two very different jobs, but I didn't realize that until I got the job. So I was like, oh, this is a very different job from being an adjutant. So your adjutant is supposed to just like jump in and do the job while you're if you're absent from the bench, right? That's it. But it's almost like it's like a pilot co-pilot role, I guess. I don't know why I use that. I don't know how co-pilots and pilots do it.
Neither do I, but probably like a general and adjutant.
Yeah, probably like like a general adjutant.
See?
Yeah. But no, I found myself very well. I found myself very relaxed in that. Also, you know what else helped is that I will say a lot of my mates are sat around that military council, so that made it easier. Because you're just like, oh, and also I've been in and out of there for the past, like, especially with two characters, I've been in and out of that tent since I started LARPing. Yeah. Right, the first day I LARPed, I was in that military council tent. So I do know a lot of the faces in there, out of character. My current character knows a lot of them, and the ones that I don't know, they're all really cool. You know,
everyone's really lovely in that tent and everything. Yeah. I mean, like, so because obviously I was adjutanting for you, and I was really glad that we were like sitting next to the marchers actually, because there was parts of it where I was like, I think I know what I'm doing. I look over and I'm like, oh, these are all my friends. I could go ask them. They're going to be fine. And I was like, got to like, basically do a bit of roleplay with them, which helped for the entire weekend. Because I was like, oh, good. Okay. I've kind of like, and now a big part of the tent as well is also like seeing who is speaking to who else in that tent, who's walking up to someone else. And I think it's really fun, that kind of part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday night was mainly meetings, and more meetings.
Meetings, LARP. That's the thing. I was worried about the podcast, because I was just like, I wasn't worried about the podcast when we were playing, but then I was like, after the fact, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say, because like it's all meetings. That was my entire weekend was it's meeting LARP. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I can talk about, which is quite fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell everyone about my Manticore problem. Right. So I currently still have a Manticore problem. We'll see. Anyway, so story time, because this is LARP Tales. So a couple of events ago, during the Winds of War, the Golden Sun got kicked out of Thrunin because we got our asses kicked by the Druge. So as we got kicked out of Thrunin, we ended up in the Barrens, and then we had to, start walking our way back to Astolat, as it were. But when we came out of Thrunin into the Barrens, we had to go through the Untrod Groves. So previously, the Empire had discovered that there is a Manticore living in the Untrod Groves in the Barrens. This Manticore thinks that he is an Dornish Earl, but has kind of come out of the woodwork and is like, I'm Dornish. I want to be part of Dorne. Yeah. And there are some really interesting things about this Manticore. So a lot of the Eternals seem to know about him, and they're very much in his business. Yeah. Or he's in their business. So he seems to have proof that he was around before the Empire. Yeah. So he was Dornish, but also pre-Imperial. So therefore, there's this like discussion on whether one, a Manticore, a monster, can be Dornish. Two, whether they're Dornish because they're Dornish before the Empire. One of the things that is very much makes you an imperial citizen of a nation is your connection to your egregore. There is no connection between the Dornish egregores and this Manticore. Yeah. The main concerning thing is that when it stings its prey, it basically kills them. We think kills them we don't I know 100% what the state of their souls are, but from what we know so far, their souls are all right. So they're dead, but their body is being used as like a host for the Manticore, so it can use them as like a thrall, if you like. So it actually came to Anvil last summit, didn't it?
I don't know if it was it that came or what exactly came.
I think it was in the body of one of its yo folk.
Yeah.
Right. So it came to Earl's Council, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of like, hey, you know, I think the Earl's Council were just like bugger off, basically.
But pretty much that was a consensus of get out of here.
Yeah. But slightly before that, as the Golden Sun came out of the Barrens, there were, some of its supplies were robbed, or attempted to be robbed, and it was actually they were basically the thralls of the Manticore, right? So there was a conjunction to go in and see this Manticore. I didn't know what exactly went on. I'm privy to a lot of the meetings. I don't actually know what went on in that one. I think it was just a basic, straightforward, like, what the hell? And it was the Manticore being like, hey, you know, I'm
it
cool,
was more like
guys.
there was a conjunction to go out and find out what was happening to the supply, and then surprise Manticore.
Surprise Manticore. So anyway, so that was before the last event. Then obviously last event, he came to Anvil and la. I, on the other hand, I was like, I couldn't care less about Manticore, like Damon. I'm like, I've got other shit to worry about. You know, if people remember what type of event we had last, it was like up and down. It was a crazy event last event. So anyway, the winds of fortune come out, and this Manticore, because my army was on resupply, this Manticore had given me some extra troops, like 50 more troops. And also, yeah, it gave me 54 strength, but as I alluded to earlier, it specifically said 50 thralls. Like, not, oh yeah, here's some like swords and that.
No,
it was like,
here's 50 of my weird undead thrall things.
Yeah. Because I mean, I guess they're not really undead because they're like, I don't know,
unalive.
No, but because they're like him, you know, and he's alive. So
here's an extension of and it's getting worse.
It's weird. But anyway, so PD gave me the option. So it was like my option as the general to be like, I can basically just ignore it and just go, don't know, there's no problem here, or tell the Manticore to piss off in my orders. So during this event, it was very much so now lots of people are sending me IC mail. I had lots of people walking up to me and just asking me about it. People that were really into this Manticore like into it. Like some people
really into
some people are into this Manticore, you know.
Yeah.
So then I had to like find out about this Manticore. I'm like, it was so Damon because everyone else is like, the Manticore, and I'm like, the man, he's obsessed with my army. He's obsessed with me. No. So yeah, I had to then basically spend the event talking about this Manticore. I tell you what, out of character, it's some really cool. It's a really cool plot.
It is cool.
Yeah, it's a way better plot. It's a bit like the
It's fun.
Yeah, it's more like the Deadwood Knight than the Raven stuff was crap.
It was really bad.
So this new Manticore stuff is a real cool piece of Dornish plot. I'm actually going to say no more on that. So good bit of Dornish plot, definitely Dornish plot.
Dornish plot.
Yeah.
What did you find out, David?
I found out some stuff. I got some good game out of this Manticore thing. I got some good.
See what happens, and maybe we can tell everyone next time.
Yeah. Well, this is where the game really, really works for me because it was basically because I have an Imperial position. This thing fell in my lap, and then I'm then talking to Night Protector of Summer, and then I'm talking to people, and then there's these opportunities for people to go and meet with these heralds and eternals and things like that have information about this Manticore, and I'm like, well, I kind of need this information too. Do you have it? And then people are wanting information from me, and then I'm getting a look into other people's game. Like the Night Protector of Summer had a real cool thing.
Oh yeah,
where they went off and they basically the Manticore has this. Basically, he has favors. Right, I'm not going to say many favors they have, because again, this is all
multiple favors.
But they have favors, right? And the Night Protector of Summer got to go and basically go into the Summer Realm, and get this favor off of Hayek,
Yeah,
So,
they went for a bit of a jog.
Yeah, so they went. So yeah, a bit of a jog, but it was a chase thing, which sounded great.
Yeah, it
Like they had to go
sounded
into the
badass.
summer realm, and they were going to chase this herald who had the favor, but then Hayek was chasing both of them, and if Hayek caught up to them before they got the herald, then it was like, so it was a real cool and tense thing, which I had basically nothing to do with, apart from the fact that my game kind of dragged me to basically talk to them about it, and we shared information, and I got to hear about that cool thing. That's when the game really works for me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is why I had such a good event. We'll talk about it a little bit at the end. But yeah, I was just like, oh, this is how the game is supposed to work.
Yeah.
You know, this is how the game was designed to work. You know, I just think there's a scaling issue. That's the thing, because being in the positions, I'm now like interacting with all the people in these different positions, and then it's like filtering down to everybody else.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it filters down enough. I think that's maybe the issue.
I think it does.
Yeah.
It does and it doesn't. I think that's the thing. Like a few different LARPs we've been at, actually, where it's like making sure things filter the right way, making sure people are finding out the right things and everything. Like, yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean there.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on to the Saturday. So Saturday we were monstering.
Yeah.
Well, I was monstering.
You were monstering.
I was monstering. I think really I was really anxious about this event, because I was like, oh, just so I didn't really want too much to think about, because it was a lot. Even with the damn Manticore thing, that was like me being like, oh, I'm just kind of studying for my general stuff, and then I'm like especially how I kind of got the position and things like that. I was like, oh, this is going to be a quite an intense one. So I didn't want my brain just couldn't cope with also going like, oh, I'm going off the ref and make sure I'm up on my rules and things like that. So I just decided not to ref. Also, so I could, like, because the refs hang back a little bit later as well, and I was just like, no, I just want to get back into my Damon stuff, start generaling again. But yeah, so this was the Bregisland one. Really freaking cool scenario. So the Strong Reeds, an army that basically they have an ability that allows them to kind of like hang out in the territory called laying low. So Bregisland's march territory that has basically been taken over by the Jotun, but because of the Strong Reeds, that like it's still it's still Marcher territory.
Holding on to it.
still, I don't think they haven't got the senator anymore or anything. But so it was to go into Bregisland. One of the objectives was to get the Strong Reeds a new quality as well, which is really cool. I mean, that doesn't happen every day that you go, oh yeah, this thing gives an army a brand new quality. So it was definitely like, yeah, we're definitely going to go do that. So the marchers had to hold a position. So before the Empire got there, a load of marchers had built a load of fortifications, because an army was basically walking through. So the Jotun army was walking through Bregisland, and so the Imperials had to go to these structures and just hold the Jotun off to make them go and turn around and go a different way, basically, which would affect the campaign map. They also had to like beat the bounds and do some like rough music.
Yeah, they had a lot of different things to do on this battle.
Yeah.
They also had to obtain a load of flags. They had to find these objectives really quickly, like from the get-go.
Yeah, it was like penance, wasn't it? They had to go find.
Yeah. So I was reffing this one, and we knew there was going to be a lot of like tight crushies in this one, because literally we are starting off with a good chunk of the player base inside a fort or defending a fort. So we knew there was going to be crushies all the way around it. So I joined Crush Team. I was I'll join Crush Team. I can't say it.
You said it 3 times.
Crush Team.
There you go, Crush Team.
Oh dear. So I joined that one. At the start of this battle, it was badass, okay? Because to start off with, the Imperials actually had a bit of a head start. They had a certain amount of time on the field before any of the monsters were allowed to leave the woods and to come in and basically surround them. And they wasted no time. Like, seriously, the second the marchers were through, they were at the top of the field, and all we could hear was objective here, objective here, objective here. They surrounded each objective within the first minute. They had a good 5 minutes. First minute, they'd found them all. They would already started all of the things that they had to do. And everyone was slowly sort of filtering into this big fort. And then it started. And honestly, yeah, the crushes were immediate all the way around. Now, there was a big issue on this battle, really big issue. So marchers, a lot of marchers and Navarre like to use crossbows. This is a weapon that a lot of them like to use. Now, the monsters this time, which is a little bit unusual, were actually briefed on not taking crossbows because of the type of Jotun they were.
Yeah.
They did not have any bows.
Proper Jotun.
Yeah. So, so picture this. We have a load of Imperials all inside a fort, and they're all firing their arrows out. And we have a load of Jotun surrounding the fort, not firing any arrows back. Within about 10, 15 minutes, they were out of arrows, like completely out. And we had people like leaning underneath the fence, trying to use their bow to like scrape arrows back in. Some of the monsters got into trouble because they hoarded 200 arrows, I think it was, something stupid like that. They had to carry back over 100 arrows at one point to try and take them back. They were hoarding them. There was one Jotun I was watching, and this Jotun got a big pile of them, went just out of reach, and just stood there and went, come on then. It was like, it was quite silly. There was a lot of really cool moments though. I wasn't fighting in it, but there was one really cool moment, and I just got to say, I don't know which group of people did this, but there was one flag that they still had to get. And there was a Jotun there with the flag going crazy with it. And they weren't going to get there, okay? There was so many around. A little group of marchers kind of went down, almost like they hid behind a group of the Wintermark. And then they just went like 1, 2, 3. And the markers just ran and pushed out into this big semicircle as if they opened. The marchers ran through, grabbed the flag, ran back, and they just pincered back in again. And it was so cool to watch. I was like, yeah. No, it was really fun to watch this one.
Yeah. So I was monstering as a healer because again, I just don't have the energy to like. Also, it was hot again. You know, we didn't mention the weather on the last. I noticed when I was editing the last E1 recap, we didn't mention the weather once. The weather was good. The weather was good this time. It's currently like middle of start of July in the UK, and we haven't had any rain. It's like a desert out there. It's only gonna get worse. So yeah, it was hot to the point where we don't even say it's hot. So like even this event, it was hot. I'm just like every day's been hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hot, and it was like yeah, I don't want to go and like fight really hard. I've got a long day today, a long day of meetings. There's stuff to do. It's gonna be a long night and things like that. I was like, I'm gonna go heal. Tell you what, I had the most fun ever. Like doing the monstering. So just me and Ash, and we went right. We'll both be healers, and we just got a stack of herbs. And it's cool when you're a healer because you just go and you just like sit under the trees until time in happens, and then you just like have a little stroll around the back lines.
But we'll say you pair did a really good job because you must have been. I didn't actually catch you. But the group that I was with, I was kind of like crouching down the entire time. And I did hear like a bunch of the Wintermarkers going, well, someone get those healers.
Yeah, we were.
Get the healers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never heard them like target the healers.
I mean, we had fun. We weren't messing around. Like we were healing. Like we were like because I had a stack about this of like True Vein. And I was like, I'm never going to use this. I was like, hopefully, an Imperial will kill me and be smart enough to loot me. We went through them like quick, like people we were back and forth because it was a massive like line fight up against those barricades.
Oh yeah.
So it just didn't move away from there because the Imperials didn't really want to push out. So it was an entirely a like field fight, which was a cool change of pace. Really,
it was fun.
So yeah, we got to a point where we ran out of herbs and we just had to like do it just with the physics skill, which is like 5 minutes of role playing. So we had a queue. Like me and Ash had like a queue of like Jotun, which is quite funny. Like just waiting. We were just like it's like the NHS really. We were just like come on, take a seat. It's gonna be 5 minutes.
We'll get to you when we can.
You can unless you've got herbs on you, but sorry, So we just like, oh, stay here 5 minutes. And you just had a little chat. About what's going on. So the funniest thing, as we're healing up, there comes a point where because we're kind of down on one end, like the furthest away from where the Sentinel Gate is, and there's like a bit of a tree line, right at the bottom,
I know where you're at,
where the palisades were, right. So the Imperials are like pushing. Like there's a bit of ebb and flow going on there because they didn't want us to get the Jotun to get in around behind them, so the Imperials were just kept pushing that way. But there was a point where they did push forward, right? At the point where basically the Jotun are losing, they're like, right, we're going to start pulling back.
There's like a little like ditchy bit in there. That's where I was for a good chunk of it.
Yeah, so we're there right next to these palisades. The marchers are like shooting at us.
Yeah.
Right. There comes a point where we're like still healing people, and we're like, right, we're doing a 5 minute heal, right, on this Jotun. So in 5 minutes is a long time.
It's a long time.
Right. So it's doing this 5 minute heal because we don't have any herbs, right? And so everyone starts leaving until it's only this Jotun orc, and 2 human healers, me and Ash, right? And I'm like going, all right, so he can't use his shield if he's being like healed, right? Because he's like technically on the floor, right? So, oh no, he's not because he's trying to get up to full hit points, right? So he wasn't on 0. He was low, and we were doing healing, I think. Regardless, he couldn't use his shield, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh no, well you heal him, and I'll use the shield, right? So I'm then like standing in front of this Jotun, and then again, all the Jotun line just disappears, right? Starts leaving us, right? So it left, and then the Imperials come out from behind the thing, and the whole the entire of the Empire, right, starts moving towards us. I'm like, oh dear. And so the Jotun is behind me and the shield, and then Ash is behind the Jotun healing. I'm like, come on, how are you doing? So I'm like this, like shaking in my boots. And this Jotun probably can't see that it's the entire Empire coming towards us. It's like doof, 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 this, and we're like counting down. Ash is like, okay, 3, 2, 1, okay, go. I just turn around and then just throw the shield to the Jotun, and he's got his sword and his shield, and me and Ash just leg it, and this Jotun just stood there as the entire sea of bodies of the Empire just washes over.
But you healed them. Well done.
What an honourable way to die, though. Definitely made it.
Facing off the entire Empire.
Yeah, definitely made it across the abyss with that. It was so funny. It was because it's just like we didn't have weapons. We were just like, oh. So oh god, it was so. That was one of the highlights of my weekend. That moment. It was so funny. But yeah, that was monstering. So the Empire was successful.
Yep.
I did also see as well. There was a obviously there was a back and forward because I think I'd come. Might have been. It was obviously after that point because then the Jotun were just like, hey, because this is what the Jotun do. They're like, hey, you beat us. Let's do a handshake. Blah blah blah. Let's talk. So there's history between the Navarre and the Jotun, right?
Yeah.
They hate each other. Like they hate each other. So the Navarre kind of had to behave on this one, which was the difficult thing about military council because the Navarre were like, we don't want to go to Sarengrave, but the other 2 days are Jotun, right? We're trying to make peace with the Jotun, right? And if Navarre are like executing them and doing stuff, it doesn't help with the peace process, right? Because they're a warrior honor culture, right? So there's a moment, but it was all like done in really good faith role playing. There was a moment where the marchers are like talking to the Jarl or whatever, the people in charge of the Jotun. And the there's like a Navari that like shoots the commanders of the Jotun, and there's this whole moment where the March is like shouting down the Navar, saying, and then apologizing to the Jotun and things like that. That was quite cool.
There was a bit of like a little scrap at the end, and it was just like marchers and Navar. We're just like, because there was a moment where we were moving everybody. We're like, okay, yep. So the radios were like, yeah, field cleared a few minutes, and then we're like, why is there fighting? The monsters were told to. Oh, it's Navar and Marchers just having a scrap.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it was all good fun role.
Oh, it was all good fun. Yeah, there was a lot of handshakes and everything, and OC check-ins at the end and stuff. And
the Empire was successful. Easy Ozy. So I mean, probably a good idea to leave part 1 there. We'll do 2 parts of this. So yeah, we still have the rest of Saturday. So because we went and did a load more meetings, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Meetings, but we had Saturday night was really good, wasn't it? Saturday night we spent a lot of time on the marches and things like that, and then we got the Sunday bout to talk about as well. So we'll leave that this part here. If you enjoy this episode, make sure that you leave us a comment down below. Make sure you click subscribe and follow us so you know when new stuff is posted along the To Have and To Roll universe. Leave us the stars on audio platforms. Go check out the Patreon, and we'll say thank you very much. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye.